welcome to the eLECtric Recap, the show where we talk about everything LEC related.
I'm MaskedSwan, your resident analyst, and I might be becoming a Lucian main, but more on that later.
And I'm Milky Cereal, and I own a pen.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Now, LEC is making its way into the second round of playoffs. That's the one before the third round and before finals.
Big numbers
and with
here.
That, big numbers. Wait until we get to the sixth round of playoffs. That's when things really get spicy. Now, for this third round of playoffs, we have 4 teams left. G2, Fnatic, Rogue, Mad Lions, and Schalke. Never mind, that's 5 teams. And we're going to be telling 2 of the teams to get out of playoffs by the end of this episode. MaskedSwan, who do you think those 2 teams could be?
I already know the spoilers, so I know who the 2 teams are that make it all the way out. So don't come to me yet.
Okay, well, let's find out. The first team that would be saying goodbye is Fnatic took on Schalke.
Which wasn't how anyone really expected this series to go. Schalke 3-0'd, and I think we're getting some breaking news in. Coming in, Milky Cereal, I think our producer has just told you some very critical news.
Oh, apparently, Selfmade is heading over to America. Something about there's no way I could lose to Gilius?
In a best of 5 series, and if he does, he'll go to NA. Just saying. Well, thank you, Selfmade. We
Broxer
haven't
2.0.
Yeah. Prophecy has been fulfilled. Let's be real. Let's talk about the series in a more serious note, because from a serious perspective, this was kind of something that a lot of analysts and people in the background had been expecting to see from Fnatic. They had been very hot and cold on a lot of spots, and certain players on the side of Fnatic had been very weak. I want to highlight that specifically Niski and Upset, though they are the brand new members and cogs in this Fnatic roster, I would argue that actually they have been some of the better players, Milky, coming into this whole playoff situation. Just the best players on Fnatic, really.
I think Upset has been absolutely fantastic. Undoubtedly the best, the best showing for Fnatic. We were saying at the beginning of the season, Fnatic, you can play around bot side, and then they started to play around bot side, and they started, to really look good. But there have been, some question marks around the team. Burpo just hasn't looked the same. Hillisang, same old, really coming through, plays well in some games, and then in others, it's, what are you doing, son?
Yeah, I would argue that both these 2 members have maybe been the worst players in their respective roles at times, which is a far cry from Summer, where they were arguably maybe some of the better players in the whole region in their role, which was a very flippant turn for them. Some big takeaways, obviously, was Abadage was able to turn around game number 1, where Fnatic looked like they might kind of run away.
Fakeadage.
Apologies, of course. Fakeadage.
Thank you.
Fnatic also had some drafting issues in a lot of these games, and I'm really not quite sure what they were trying to do. I mean, game number 2, Selfmade locks in Lee Sin. Now, unless your name is Boogie over in the LLA, or if you're Casa and you play in the LPL, yeah, I'm a bit ambitious. That's a good player as well, actually. This just didn't seem it, and Fnatic seemed lost throughout this whole series.
I mean, to be honest, I think he pulled out the Lee Sin. I think he was planning his trip over to NA, and he thought, how could I look more like Broxer? Let me pull out Broxer's Lee Sin. And it performed rather similarly to Broxer's Lee Sin, to be honest. I'm sorry, that's too many shots fired. Too many shots.
Fair.
I used to really like Broxer, to be fair.
I mean, I think Broxer's been a perfectly fine player in NA. He has found his residency at the old folks' home, and it's going well. And game number 3 for the Fnatic Schalke series was a 25-minute slap, and I think and the fact that it only took Schalke 25 minutes to slap Fnatic says a lot more than it should.
Yeah, but Schalke go 3-0 after Fnatic looked strong by taking down SK in fairly comfortable fashion. Schalke advanced, and they would play Rogue in the next game in playoffs after the one that we're about to talk about. The upper bracket match. G2 versus the Mad Lions.
And what a performance really it was from G2 and Mad Lions. The series just gave a lot of things going. What is this?
What is what?
But what have you got? What's behind that?
It's a cloth.
Just remove the cloth. What
I
are you
thought I'd
hiding?
get a cloth out, to clean up the series. Clean up bad performances.
I mean, this was a good series though. Both teams
Okay, this one was.
performed well. Like this was back and oh, you're. Well, I have to imagine I already know where you're predicting finals to go. But anyway, before we go anywhere near that one, Mad Lions was successful in beating G2 in a 3-1 nail biter of a series. And there's a lot to recap over this. One thing is obviously Reckless playing Karma, which was a very divisive pick on social media. Lots of people have their thoughts around that one. Yeah,
Yep.
well, we did
Slightly
literally
divisive.
very
Me no
divisive.
likey, MaskedSwan likey.
Yes, it's the typical thing of I like Kai'Sa, no one else likes no, Karma. Kai'Sa is
We
different.
all like Kai'Sa.
We all like Kai'Sa. Well, not everybody, but anyway. How did you ever imagine Mad Lions would actually beat G2 in this kind of fashion, Milky?
Yes. Did I think it was likely? No. But I mean, okay. I recently put out a bit of a monologue on YouTube that some people that didn't have much things to do a few days ago might have happened to watch, which was essentially talking about how Mad Lions G2 has become a new rivalry of Europe. Every single split for the last 3 splits has started with Mad Lions versus G2. Every single playoffs has had Mad Lions versus G2 in it. And so far in spring, it's Mad Lions beating out G2. And, we know, let's be honest, right? G2 go into losers bracket every single playoffs. At least they have since 2020. Losers bracket buff. Exactly. So this was their last time, their last chance to lose a game. So we know G2 like to take losses, and this is where they took their loss. But I don't think it was an optional choice to take that loss. I think Mad gave him a bit of a slappy.
I would probably agree with you on that. They were very much forcing the double AD kind of thing. It didn't work out. They tried to do the Karma. It didn't really work out. They then put
Not
Wonder on a
Karma's fault.
Kali, and then it worked. What the? There's so much we could uncover here. Basically, if you want to get any real thoughts about this, Mad Lion played better than G2 across a full best of 5 series. And sure, Reckless was able to have a carry performance because he definitely held his own in this series. I mean, there's a good reason why he's the best AD carry in the region is Reckless, but outside of that, Caps was getting camped in game number 4 and looked very lost at points. G2 now get the buff, so we'll see them in the finals, I have to imagine, but I'm going ahead of myself here. What else would you like to say about this, Milky?
Game 4 was an absolute banger.
Oh,
and if G2 were that far ahead and Mad Lions won, that is incredible. And we talked about in regular split the fact that Mad Lions had a huge advantage against Rogue and they threw it. Last week we talked about how Mad Lions they played out the Rogue, and now they've done it again against G2. This twice, once each week. That should not be happening. That was an impressive comeback from Mad Lions.
And we'll have to see how they go through in the future. I'm worried for Mad Lions as they sit in the finals. They will have to watch G2 maybe power up, but this was an incredible performance. And go watch this series. Honestly, just go watch this series if you are remotely interested into it, because we could recap it and spend an hour here and still not cover everything. Just go watch it. Yeah, the Lion will come back for the finals prediction. It's fine.
No Lion. But moving on. Rogue Schalke. And this was a Rogue series. Rogue in the sense that slightly unordinary. Rogue in the sense that Rogue were playing in it. And game 1, Rogue took.
They really did. And let's be real, this is why I love Karma Top, and I've been screaming this champion from the absolute highest of hills. You get to play double support, double AD comps, and then you get to play a Lilia. Inspired on Lilia, by the way, was absolutely toxic for the side of Schalke to deal with. Literally, it wasn't fun for Schalke to play this game. There were only 7 kills for Rogue and 2 for Schalke, but it was a 26-minute stomp. There was just nothing that the side of Schalke could have done in this first game. But they replied back pretty well with a Nocturne top game number 2.
Yeah. I just want to say as well, Karma top, Broken Blade almost, Flame Horizoned it. So
you can Flame Horizon it. It still was more impactful than the Aurelia.
Exactly. Game 2, Nocturne coming in. We saw Schalke pulling out the Nocturne to destroy XL's chances of making it into playoffs. I'm pretty sure it was XL. And now Rogue pulled it out against Schalke.
And it didn't work. This game, it was not for Rogue, and Gilius got the Hecarim, one of the most divisive champions currently in 11.5 and 11.6. He has been a very high priority jungler, along with this Nocturne, along with this Rise. Schalke had a global composition with the idea that if we have double global, we can get our pony anywhere on the map that we need to. Kaiser can come in from the middle of nowhere, and they did it absolutely flawlessly. Schalke definitely showed why they have been able to push these teams so far. The problem is, it wasn't a quick one. Like the first game for Rogue, this was a 43-minute game, and it looked like at points that if Rogue could find a pick or two, the game could have been theirs.
Schalke seem to be liking these long series since their 5-game series with G2, where I think 2 or 3 of them went over 40 minutes now against Rogue as well. But the key thing for me was this weird pickup that Rogue did. Hansama on the Kalista, and they played it again in game 3.
They really did, and that was something that I just wasn't expecting to see from them. I mean, it was a very diverse portfolio, and seeing the Kalista come back in, and then for the game number 3, it actually was really critical. They played around the idea of having double smite. They played around the idea of having this Hecarim, having Kalista stack Ren stacks, and then, well, they also did the really dirty thing of playing Urgot. Naughty.
But let's ignore all of that, because I know you want to talk about a certain game 4, because a certain Reckless champion made its way onto the Rift.
Oh, Odo got to play Kennen, and it's so good. He was so good. Literally, I was yelling out loud, like I was gushing when the ultimates were happening. Me and my partner were watching it, and we were literally yelling out loud, going, "Oh, is he going to do it? Oh. And the final team fight where Rogue and Schalke are going for it, and you can just see Odo slowly going around the back of the Dragon Pit. He's going so slowly. He's like, do. I almost was hearing the... Yeah, very much like Tom and Jerry style. He was the mouse, he was Jerry, and he found his opportunity to catch Tom, and it was more than just a small catch. It was an obliteration, domination, nation, and even with Limit going, no, you're not getting through, the rest of your team kind of needed you, Limit, and it was actually completely part of the plan. Rogue take this series and looked strong in doing it.
Yeah, Rogue, I mean, they look strong. I mean, it's what we kind of expected from the team that were, right up towards the top in regular season.
Tied in points with G2.
Yeah, exactly. And they take the win. And as we said, or as I said at the start of the show, 2 teams would be leaving us a little bit like, a celebrity contestant show. And our celebrities leaving us are Fnatic and Schalke. They're out, they're gone. And this leads in for what I think is a really cool narrative, out with the old, in with the new. This is no longer the G2 Fnatic era. This is the G2 Mad Lions Rogue era that we're starting to see coming into play. We saw it at the end of summer 2020. G2 Rogue Mad Lions at the top of the season. And sure, Fnatic were able to take down Rogue and make it into finals, if I'm not mistaken. And now, this time, here for spring 2021, these are the 3 teams that are left in playoffs.
And what a playoff for 3 teams to have left. These are definitely the top 3 teams that have looked the strongest. It doesn't feel like a team has kind of ups themselves into kind of this spot. It also doesn't feel like we've got 2 dominant teams and then a team that's just kind of got their way there. Everyone has deserved their slot here. And it's going to be so exciting to see how the next few games go.
And speaking of the next few games, let's make some predictions. Now, MaskedSwan, from my casting that I like to have Milky's mini games.
Yeah, I do actually. It's a fun thing to
So
play.
we're going to be having a mini game in this podcast, right?
Okay.
Mini game's very simple. Mad Lions stay on the head. Mad Lions win. Mad Lions fall off the head. They
Like
lose.
there. So
Like
they
there.
lost. So they actually just lose
No,
because
it
they
hadn't
fell.
started.
No. You don't get to decide the rules and the game as well. Like, no.
Wait,
Anyway.
deciding the rules and the game's the same thing. Okay. Right, let's go. So, Rogue beat Schalke. Rogue
Yep.
faced G2.
Yeah. Both teams have already beaten Schalke, so can't do it. Schalke got as much time as they could to prep for G2 and still weren't able to beat them. Now G2 did lose to Mad Lions, but Mad Lions beat Rogue in the same amount of games. It was still a 3-1, 3-1. I'm still going to go G2 playoff buff because it's a bit too strong. But Rogue are probably the only team I would actually say could beat them. I'm going G2. It's going to be the full fives. 3-2 G2 for me.
The thing is, I remember something being said by Quickshot in the cast of G2 versus Mad Lions. And it was, I fear for whoever has to play against G2 after G2 lose a game or a series, or after G2 have a shocking result, which in that sense was the shock that they took 5 games to beat Schalke. And then they lose to Mad Lions. So however scared you would have been for a team facing G2 after a 5-game series against Schalke, that is doubled. That is tripled now against Rogue. I don't know.
Gotta do it. Come on, rip it off. Who do you think's winning?
I'm a play-by-play caster. And play-by-play casters, we go with our hearts. We don't go with our heads unless there's a mad lion on the head. Then we go with a mad lion because the mad lion's actually from the heart that's made its way onto the head. I'm going to go with Rogue.
You gotta give you a reason for that.
Heart.
Okay, so we have no
Believe
logic
in
here.
the heart of the cards, heart of the Beyblade.
Okay, so G2 are taking this one, ladies and gentlemen, 3-2. So that's where we're going with that. Moving on to the finals. In your world, Mad Lions are there, and they get to slap Rogue 3-0, so that's fine for them. Your prediction's great. Oh, okay, you'll give Rogue a game. All right, good for you. Good for you. In my world where G2 win, G2 also beat Mad Lions.
Okay. Okay, so I just want to get an opinion from you. If Rogue beat G2, do you think G2 would then beat Mad Lions?
So if Rogue beat G2...
No. If Rogue...
They don't get to play Mad Lions, Milky.
If Rogue beat G2, do you think Rogue can beat Mad Lions in finals?
So if Rogue beat G2, do I think Rogue can beat Mad Lions in finals? No. I think Mad Lions have already shown they've beaten the best team the EU has ever produced. And if they can do that once, they can beat anyone that tries to also replicate what they do. I also don't think the game that they're going to be able to play against G2, it really depends on the performance of G2. If they get a repeat of the series that Mad Lions had, then I would then go back and maybe reconsider this. But until we don't see the state, it's really hard to judge that.
I mean, Excel beat G2, then they beat Rogue, and then they lost the final game of Split, so...
I mean, Misfits almost made it in, but lost to Vitality, so who knows in the LEC?
Who knows in the LEC? League of... I don't know. I wanted to say, like, Strange, or League of Exuberant Championship. League of Clowns. Where's the E, Reed? Where's the E? That doesn't work like that. Anyway, so you think Mad Lions would beat Rogue if Rogue make it through, and if you think that if G2 beat Rogue, G2 will beat Mad Lions?
Yes.
Okay. Is the Mad Lion still on my head?
Yes, but we are doing separate universes here. You've got the Milky universe, I've got the MaskedSwan universe.
This lion is on my head in all universes.
Nah, no, not in all universes, it's not.
In every universe that ever existed, this Mad Lions is still on my head.
It is. Anyway, yes. This has gone on way too long, this skit.
True. Either way, it's now time for everyone's favorite show. It's time for Hot or Not. It's time for everyone's favorite show, everyone's favorite part of the eLECtric recap. It's time for Hot or Not. I'm Milky Cereal. This is MaskedSwan. We got special guest Fairy Lions up on the top as well, just like where they'll be at the end of a playoff. But we're going to be jumping in for our first contestant. Now, you thought Karma was a cool champion to take to the top lane. Well, let's take in another support. What do you think of Lulu?
I mean, pretty sure it's illegal to comment on Hot or Not, but as a champion, yeah, I don't like Lulu top. I like Karma top. I just don't like Lulu top. Basically, I think Polymorph is a broken ability, like a lot of people, and I don't think it's healthy for the environment of the game. So, not.
Well, you know what? Let's take that negative energy and channel it towards our next contestant, Karma ADC.
You're actually questioning? Of course, it's hot. It's Karma. I love this champion. Hot, easy.
Hang on, wait, hang on. Sorry. Fairy Lions. Once you hit, could you just say that again? Could you just repeat it for Fairy Lions?
So the lion isn't on the head anymore. You took it off, so it's confirmed Mad Lions are losing the series. It was perfect reverse psychology, and I won anyway.
Sorry, what's that? Yeah, you're gonna win anyway. Yeah, Karma's a terrible champion. Thank you, Fairy Lions. Moving on then to our next champion, we're going to be switching back on over to the top side of the map because Wanda's pulling out some spiciness. It's Akali.
Yeah, don't play this champion at the moment in the top lane. If you checked out, I think it was Odo put out his tier list. One of the LEC top laners put out their competitive tier list, and Akali was in D tier. All I need to say. Okay. All I need to say.
But G2 won with Akali, MaskedSwan. Surely it's got to be good. Rah.
Yeah, results-based orientated thinking is a lovely thing that a lot of people love to do on the internet, Milky. We know that all too well.
Well, then let's speak about how we shouldn't be going with result-orientated thinking with our next champion, because Rogue pulled out the Kennen top and they won with it.
Well, that's Kalista. And I'm going to say Kalista. Oh, come! Kennen's here!
It's always been Kennen, MaskedSwan. Come on! Now you're
He is a ninja. He is a ninja. So that's how he was able to do it. And of course, you saw me gush about this champion. Kennen is a champion where if you pick it in very, very specific moments, it's great. But if you pick it in the wrong situation, he's awful. Don't pick him. Odo found out a spot to play him. It worked flawlessly. I hope to see more of this in the future.
Wait, MaskedSwan, that's not Kennen. It's Nico.
What?
It's Nico. Look, it's Nico now. Nico.
No.
No, okay. Let's just go to Kalista.
So Kalista's an interesting champion to see back because when you previously had to play her, you had to win early game really quickly. Now you actually get to scale with Kalista. The build is slightly different now because obviously the item change update. And it's actually really cool to see this. Obviously, I've already talked about the Rend plus Smite advantage which the champion offers, meaning she still has late game ability to win games, win a mutual objective. She has less of a fall off that she used to have. She's not a mono red champion, which a lot of analysts used to talk about. Now she's more of a artifact. Whatever. Kalista's pretty good now. I would say she's like kind of hot, but not quite hot yet. She's warm.
What's that, Lions? Oh, Liony wanted to say that he thinks Kalista's hot because he thinks that then Rogue or G2 might try to play Kalista against Kazi, and then they can stomp them.
Good luck with that.
Okay. For our final contestant, or hot or not, Lion. Okay, it's not actually Lion. For our actual final contestant, and this time it's a head-to-head battle, Elyoya or the man in the top lane himself, Armut?
So, I'm siding with Armut because the man is always ready to look at the camera even when you're not ready to look at him or the camera's not even on him. He's already just staring it down, looking at it menacingly, asserting dominance, and I mean, the Turkish All-Star is really proving his weight here.
Well, actually, MaskedSwan, it didn't matter if you voted for Elyoya or for Armor, because either way, this guy, he's happy. And we leave all of you wonderful viewers with the knowledge that due to Mad Lions thrashing G2 and Mad Lions going to be taking down whoever is so unlucky as to face them in the finals, that apparently they have broken the weather. And all around Europe at various times, it has been snowing. The snow is in celebration of Mad Lions' first ever LEC victory and the first time in a very, 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 very long time that either Fnatic or G2 haven't won playoffs. I've been Milky Cereal. This beautiful gentleman has been MaskedSwan. We'll be back next week to praise the Mad Lions. Go Mad.